Hey, Truckee Tahoe. So we're back with another quick tip video. It's been about a month. Sorry it's taken us a bit to get back to you. I'm actually excited about today's video. It's kind of a silly reason, but I don't want to spoil the surprise. You're going to figure out soon enough what we're doing, but there's something about it that I'm just kind of I'm excited to see if it works. I've had one of these little things for a while, and I have one in my car and my wife's car, and I've always wondered if this is going to work. We finally have an opportunity to go check it out. So stay with us. We're going to be there in about 10 minutes, but for you, it's going to be like that, and stay tuned. As promised, we're here, and I don't want to spoil the surprise, so I'll warm you guys up to what we're going to be doing here in a little bit. But this is actually more of a serious topic, and this is something that really could save your life. And I'm asked a lot, like, what are the one item that you should keep in your car as a safety item? And, you know, with winter coming, a lot of people are starting to prepare for that, and they'll keep blankets or sleeping bags and water in your car. And none of that's wrong. That's all great stuff, and it's always good to be prepared. But this is one item that I have in my car. Matter of fact, I have it attached right up here to this post for our sun visor, which is a great spot, but I'll explain that in a little bit. And this particular model is called a Rescue Me. It's this little guy right here. And there's a couple different models out there. They really all do the same thing. But what it is a seatbelt cutter. And this one has this little clip, which is also a cover for the razor blade. It's meant to be on your keychain. And I'll talk about why that's not necessarily my favorite, and I like it on the post of the visor a little bit more. Mainly because, like, this car is a push button start. My wife's car is a push button start. So the key fob, or where she keeps her keychains, exactly like mine is right now, it's in my pocket. If you get in an accident, you might not be able to get to it that quickly. The car is submerged in water, or whatever it might be. Having it on your keychain might prohibit that. But if that's best for you and your car actually still uses a key and it dangles by where the ignition is, I'm all for it. That works out great. But I have it kind of situated here so that it's on a piece of string, and if I pull it, it just comes loose, and obviously I've got a duplicate for me. But it actually has a window punch. And so by pressing this up against the window, and I'm not going to do it in my car, that could be a problem, you can actually shatter the window, get outside of the vehicle if the windows weren't working or able to get down, or if your door's trapped, closed, because the car's rolled over for some other reason, you're up against a snowbank. So here in a couple minutes, we're going to go get one of these cars over at this tow yard, and I'm going to get to shatter the window with this thing, which is why I'm so excited. And again, I have no idea why, but that just thrills me to no end. So stay tuned. We're going to go over to the car, and we'll talk a little bit more about this and how you use it, and we'll see if it works. Before I get started, I got to thank Joe at Cal Nevada Towing. He was nice enough to give us this car so we could test out the Rescue Me device. And again, this isn't a plug for Rescue Me. There's a lot of different models that are out there. I've seen ones that actually go in the cigarette-lit charger and have a USB connection for charging your iPhone. So anything that has that seatbelt cutter and that window punch is what you're after, and some way to secure it in a location where you're not going to lose it in an accident. But this just happens to be nice and small. It's the one that I have, but any of them work. But again, thank you, Joe, for the use of this car. We obviously already know my excitement level about getting to punch this window out, but we're going to jump inside here in a second. We're going to see if the seatbelt cutter works and talk about how to do that safely, and then we'll move on to punching out the window. There's a couple things about the seatbelt that are kind of interesting in an accident. You might ask, why just hit the button release? Well, the uniqueness about some of the newer cars is that they actually have a little explosive device or pneumatic device inside of these reels. And when the airbags deploy, the seats lock. So you can't loosen it, you can't get out of it. And in some scenarios, when the car's upside down, or there's a lot of pressure or weight, or, you know, whatever the case is that puts a lot of restraint on this, that button might not depress. I mean, the other scenario, God forbid, is that you can't get to that button because this side of the car has been compacted in, or something is broken on this side that prevents you from getting to it. So although ideally, just like the window, when we go to punch it out, the best thing you do is try the door handle and see if you can just get out through the door. But if you can't, you go to popping out the window. Same thing with the seatbelt. If you can't get it off, you can't loosen it, that inertia reel is locked up, the button won't compress, you get to cut the seatbelt. Now, I think there's probably a technique with this, and you can see that through the seatbelt, this actually is going to pinch that. So the idea is to get as close down to your waist as you can and only do one cut or two cuts. And, you know, I think that's as simple as it is. So as soon as you cut that, you should be able to pull this through Now you're completely out of the seatbelt. Now, if that didn't work, it got caught up in here, you make the second cut and you're free. So you're left with just that bad boy and your seatbelt's out. Okay, now the fun part.
Okay, recording.
Okay, so I've kind of equipped up a little bit here. I put on some sunglasses. I have a glove. Obviously, if you're in an accident, you're not really going to worry about those things. I just turn my head away. It doesn't explode. It's just going to shatter, but just to make sure, you know, I'm a chief now. I'm an admin guy. I just push paper, so I have delicate hands and delicate eyes. I want to make sure that I don't get anything. Now, there is a trick with this too, just like cutting the seatbelt. You don't want to do it in the middle of the glass or where the glass actually flexes. You want to do it in the corners or whatever you can get to. So I'm going to pick this front corner. It's just a compression top. So as you press it, oh, that's the horn too, but there's a little carbide tip in there, and that carbide tip is what shatters the window. So hopefully I don't feel stupid. This works on the first go. I'm going to put it up against the glass here, and I'm going to push it, and we're going to see what happens.
Still recording.
Okay, so here we go. Oh my God. And that's that. So it took me 2 or 3 times, but it's that simple. It was just a simple little push. I didn't push any pressure. Matter of fact, I probably put too much pressure. My hand went through it, but it pops the window and you're free. Obviously in an accident, you're not gonna worry about the small cuts that you get with your hand. Again, my admin gloves, so I don't cut myself, but you clear off your glass, crawl through the window. I think it's a critical thing to have in your car in case you do get in an accident. You can cut yourself out and you can pop that window and get outside the car. So as always, Truckee Tahoe, you know, be prepared, stay prepared. And if you want to be informed and stay informed, don't forget to subscribe to our Facebook, sign up for our Nixle, and we'll be back shortly with another quick tip. Thanks again to Joe at Cal Nevada and Rescue Me. And that's our quick tip for this month.